Pay me 3 hours to save you 39 cents? Deal. For background, it's important to know that when I travel for work, I can charge at most 8 hours even if the travel day is longer. But if it's not an 8-hour travel day, I'm expected to log in and work up to 8. Super fair. Additionally, the travel booking tool flags your ticket and notifies your manager if it deems you're selected. Flight is not the cheapest reasonable option. I've never actually had a manager decline one of my choices. But the system was so dumb this time I invoked MC. Instead of a 2.75-hour non-stop home, the system told me I should take the lower-cost one stop. At a travel time of 5.75 hours, with a savings of 39 cents. Instead of getting more work done, I got paid an extra 3 hours to watch some extra shows on my iPad and had an extra meal on the company travel allowance at the airport, which was around $30 value. Delicious compliance. What a silly booking tool. My company has something called lowest logical fare, which basically means if you can demonstrate that a higher cost is logical, you can take it. This would be one such no-brainer. The way I look at any job I have is I get paid for working 8 hours a day. My actual day starts at my regular time to get up, get ready, get to work by my start time. At the end of the workday, my day ends at my regular time to get home. This is typically a 10-hour day, getting paid for 8 of them. One job had me fly from Burbank, California to Oakland, California to do a presentation at a location about an hour's drive from Oakland. I had to get up 2 hours early to get to the airport, wait for the flight, drive to the location, do the presentation, drive back to Oakland, fly to Burbank. My normal 10-hour day was about 18 hours. I did this 3 times. I asked for a comp day once because there was something I wanted to do but was told there was no comp time. About 5 years after I left that job, I got a letter from a lawyer saying a class action suit had been filed against that employer. Would I want to be part of it? Sure. The end result was I got around $6,000 US. Had I gotten the comp time, I suspect I would not have gone the class action route. Who wants 25 cents for a payout like all the others I've seen? I had a boss tell me, take your preferred airline even if it's $100 more. His reasoning is if I have status with an airline and a flight is cancelled, I get booked first. It seemed odd to me at the time. It has worked multiple times over the years. Cancelled flights and auto booking for a new flight where everybody else is waiting in line for a hotel and next day flight. Free same-day flight changes. Upgrades to better seating after long weeks of work is just an added bonus. My organization once forced me to take the cheapest flight itinerary with a 9-hour layover to save something like $20. I tried to talk to the finance people explaining that they will be paying me way more just to sit at the airport that long. Their explanation: your salary comes out of a different pot of money and doesn't factor into your travel expense decisions. Okay. I feel like you still both lost. Airplanes are too unpleasant for 3 hours wages to be worth it. I'm glad you are happy though. Concur? Who the hell would be that stupid? Delicious compliance had me rolling haha tears of joy. In a day with travel and work hours, my employer allowed OT or time in lieu only for working hours that were more than the usual working time for the day. Many colleagues did 12H plus same-day trips for free. When they asked me, I spent the night out. As allowed. You sure it's legal for them to steal your wages? We also use Concur, and our company has a policy that you can use it to book flights up to $150 more than the lowest logical fare. If it is more than $150, it will be flagged and you will be required to provide explanation. Being a FTE, we don't get additional allowance for traveling. Concur sent me to Detroit and back to Scotland on an 18-hour round trip because I refused to let me buy an easy jet fare from London. I used to be a road warrior on the road for 4 or 5 weeks in a row. Before I booked any of my flights, I always closed my eyes for 5 or 10 seconds and imagined how I was going to explain the extra $25 or $50 I was booking for the flight I wanted instead of the absolute cheapest. Never had anyone question me for real, though. Business folks aren't as neurotic as the web systems about minimizing costs. In my experience, there are, of course, exceptions to that, as our anti-work likes to remind us. My MCs were always against the airline, not the customer, company. You want to charge me the same to fly from home to Charlotte to Florida as you do for me to fly from home to Charlotte to Chicago to Florida? Okay. At the time, I was a US Air guy and they awarded status by miles flown and flight count. So an extra 1,000 miles, an extra leg, meant I was one step closer to those sweet automatic upgrades to first class for the next year. I had to use Concur in the past and it appears our admins, 2 different companies, either had no idea what they were doing or just idiots who also never traveled and used it themselves. Regardless, the hoops and back and forth to get a trip with airfare, hotel and rental car would take me way too long. I could hit 3 separate sites and have my trip booked, often for less than Concur and more convenient for me, in under 30 minutes.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epicaricast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.